temperature is dropping low. Everything is moving slow. I'm a glacier on the move. I have nothing left to prove to anyone that set the ice. I do not need a warm of ice. I shut the furnace in the chest. I put the heat into the rest. I want the winter in the bone. I wanna be the freezing stone. Blood runs cold, I live. Blood runs cold, I shift. Frozen solid, heavy state. This is how I dominate. Blood runs cold, no heat. Blood runs cold, deadbeat. Turning blue inside the face. Welcome to the frozen place. Emotion is a burning fire. I extinguish the desire to be comfortable and warm. I walk directly in the storm. The shivering and weak and leaving. Stop the hope and stop believing. Start the freezing of the soul. Start the filling of the hole. With liquid nitrogen and steel. I don't remember how to feel. I only know the heavy weight and how to lock the iron gate. Blood runs cold, I live. Blood runs cold, I shift. Frozen solid, heavy state. This is how I dominate. Blood runs cold, no heat. Blood runs cold, deadbeat. Turning blue inside the face. Welcome to the frozen place. 0 degree on the wall. 0 degree, watch you fall. 0 degree in the mind. Lead the one, far behind. The bar's cold against the hand. I follow every strict command to move the mountain across the plain. Ignoring wind and ignoring rain. I am a statue made of frost. I do not care about the cost. A losing feeling in the skin. That is how the winds begin. Preservation of the strength. I go to any measure lane to keep the temperature down low and watch the heavy muscles grow. Blood runs cold, it stay. Blood runs cold always. Hypothermia is a goal to numb the body and the soul. So I can push beyond the limit. Spend every single minute underneath the heavy load. Walking down the icy road. If I feel heat, I kill it fast. I make the frozen moment last. I am a machine of winter time. Commit to cold and perfect crime. But still in power from the chill. And using it to break the hill. Ice and ice. Ice and heart. Tear them all apart. Ice and ice. Ice and heart. Finish stop. You stop. The sweat turns into icicle. Riding on the heavy cycles up. This is a story being told of a man who turned a block. A solid and a mover. I don't react, I don't complain. I stand inside the freezing rain and wait for gravity to break. I give and give and never take. Except the coldness of the floor. I do not need anything more. Blood runs cold, I live. Blood runs cold, I shift. Frozen solid, heavy state. This is how I dominate. Blood runs cold, no heat. Blood runs cold, deadbeat. Turning blue inside the face. Welcome to the frozen place. Blood runs cold, ice cold. Blood runs through the mind. To the bomb, sound lead down. Hoes at the root and die. Solid ground. I won't set the burden down. Blood runs cold, I stand. Blood runs cold always. Blood runs cold, I stay. The iron sits upon the mat. It doesn't know where it is at. It has no soul, it has no breath. It mimics the silence of death. It wants to stay upon the ground. It doesn't make a single sound until I grab it by the neck and put the ego in the check. I fight the gravity and mass. I watch the heavy seconds pass. It is a corpse made out of steel. It doesn't care about the feel. Wait, pick it up, fill the cup. Lifeless, heavy, cold and gray. Drag it through the light of day. Dead weight, put it down. Dead weight, wear the crown. Resurrect the heavy stone. Build the muscle on the bone. Dead weight, pick it up. Dead weight, fill the cup. Lifeless, heavy, cold and gray. Drag it through the light of day. Dead weight, put it down. Dead weight, wear the crown. Resurrect the heavy stone. Build the muscle on the bone. It fights me every inch I go. It wants to keep the motion slow. It has no pity for the weak. It doesn't listen when I speak. I pour my life into the bar to move the object near and far. I transfer energy to lead. I make the heavy metal bleed. But it is cold and it is dry. It watches with a hollow eye, waiting for my grip to slip and crash the heavy sinking ship. Dead weight, pick it up. Dead weight, fill the cup. Life is heavy, cold and gray. Drag it through the light of day. Dead weight, put it down. Dead weight, wear the crown. Resurrect the heavy stone. Build a muscle on the bone. Pick it up. Dead weight, fill the cup. Life is heavy, cold and gray. Drag it through the light of day. Dead weight, put it down. Dead weight, wear the crown. Resurrect the heavy stone. Build a muscle on the bone. No heartbeat inside the plate. Just the silence and the hate. No heartbeat inside the plate, except the burden of the fate. I am carrying a tune, walking through the heavy room. My feet are sinking in the floor, I cannot take it anymore. But still I lift and still I pull until the agony is full. The dead weight tries to drag me deep into the dark and heavy sleep. I have to stay awake and fight against the dying of the light. I force the life into the limb, the chances are extremely dim. Dead weight, heavy load. Dead weight, lonely road. 1,000 pounds of nothing is creating all the heavy stress. It is a black hole in the room, consuming flowers in the bloom. It sucks the air out of the lungs. It speaks in dark and heavy tongues. Of stopping now and giving in to let the gravity begin to take me down into the earth and show me what the struggle's worth. I hold it tight and I say no. I have a little further go. Heavy soul, heavy toe. Lose the part, lose the whole. Heavy soul, heavy toe. Dig the pit, dig the hole. Heavy soul, heavy toe. Lose the part, lose the whole. Heavy soul, heavy toe. Dig the pit, dig the hole. Heavy soul. The session is a battleground between the silence and the sound of living flesh and dying steel, spinning on the heavy wheel. I am alive, the weight is dead. I keep the voices in the head focused on the simple task. I tear away the human mask and become simple force and drive, trying to keep the set alive against the object on the bar that wants to leave a heavy scar. Dead weight, pick it up, wait, fill the cup. Life is heavy, cold and gray. Drag it through the light of day. Put it down, dead weight, wear the crown. Resurrect the heavy stone, build a muscle on the way. Dead weight, pick it up, dead weight, fill the cup. Life is heavy, cold and gray. Drag it through the light of day. Put it down, dead weight, wear the crown. Resurrect the heavy stone, build a muscle on the bone. I drop the weight, the floor shakes. My body trembles and it aches. The iron settles in its place. A blank impression on his face. It waits for me to come back round and lift it off the heavy ground. It has patience, I have time. We are partners in the crime of murdering the comfort zone. I leave the dungeon all alone. The dead weight waits for my return to watch the heavy fire burn. Dead weight, I stand dead weight, command till the bomb me solid ground. I won't set the burden down. Dead weight, I stay dead weight, always dead weight, always dead weight, dead weight, dead weight.
Comes down from the sky. It wants to see if I will die. It strikes the iron on the chest. It puts the metal on the chest. I do not flinch, I do not move. I settle into the heavy groove. The world is hitting hard today, but I am not going away. I stand immovable in black. I take the weight up on the back. Let the spark begin to fly. I look the hammer in the eye. I am the anvil, take the hit. I am the anvil, never quit. Strike me down, I stay the same. I am the master of the game, the anvil, solid state. I am the anvil, carry weight. Break the hammer on my skin. That is how the wars begin. Impact is the only truth. I left the softness in the youth. Now I am a block of lead. I kill the voices in the head. The heavy blow is a caress. I do not settle for the less. I want the maximum attack. I want the bones to nearly crack. Because I know that I will hold. I am the story being told. Something that resists the break no matter what they can be. Take the hit. I am the anvil, never quit. Strike me down, I stay the same. I am the master of the game, the ember, solid state. I am the anvil, carry weight. Break the hammer on my skin. That is how the wars begin. Me hard, hit me fast. I am there, build a last. Hit me hard, hit me fast. Forget the future, forget the past. The noise is deafening and loud. I stand apart from every crowd. They break like glass under the strain. They run away from all the pain. But I absorb the energy. I let the violence enter me and turn it into something dense. This is the ultimate defense. To be so heavy and so still that nothing hurts and nothing kills. I wait for the descending blow and let the inner power grow. I am the anvil. Here I stand, I am the anvil. In command, yeah. The tool is shaped by violent foes. I stay upon the steady course. I don't complain about the beat. I don't complain about the heat. I know that this is necessary to be the one who has to carry the load that crushes other men. I axe the hammer, strike again. I want to feel the heavy thud. I want the ardent in the blood to solidify and turn to stone. I face the impact all alone. Sparks are flying in the dark, leaving on a heavy mark. Sparks are flying in the dark. Ignite the fire, ignite the spark. The session is a blasphemous shot. The ringing sound will never stop. I am the object and the goal. I harden up the inner soul. The weakness flakes away like rust, falling down into the dust, revealing what is underneath. I hold the sword inside the sheath. The hammer tires, I remain. I am the king of all the pain. I outlast every single strike. I am exactly what I like. I am the anvil, take the hit. I am the anvil, never quit. Strike me down, I stay the same. I am the master of the game, the anvil, solid state. I am the anvil, carry weight. Break the hammer on my skin. That is how the wars begin. The hammer handle starts to crack. It cannot handle the attack of striking something that won't bend. I will be standing at the end. The silence comes back to the room. I stand inside the heavy gloom, unbroken, unbent, undefined. I
I step off the edge of the world into the darkness, flags unfurled. I leave the light and noise behind to enter corners of the mind where nothing lives but weight and stone. I sit upon the empty throne. The abyss is staring back at me. It swallows up the vanity. I am descending deep and low, where the heavy monsters grow. I disconnect the telephone. I am completely on my own. Into the abyss I fall, into the abyss I crawl, blacker than the blackest night. This is how I win the fight. Into the abyss, deep down, into the abyss I drown, breathing in the heavy air. There is nothing here to care. Gravity is stronger here. It crushes hope and crushes fear. It pulls the spirit to the floor. I do not look back at the door. I let the shadows cover skin. I let the rituals begin. The outside world is just a dream. I tear it apart at the seam and sew it back with iron thread. I am alive but feeling dead. I like the quiet of the deep, where the darkest secrets sleep. Into the abyss I fall, into the abyss I crawl, blacker than the blackest night. This is how I win the fight. Into the abyss, deep down, into the abyss I drown, breathing in the heavy air. There is nothing here to care. Falling down, hitting ground, no one hears a single sound. Falling down, hitting ground, lost, and then I am found. The void is empty, so am I. I do not look up at the sky. I focus on the heavy plate. I meditate on cruel fate. The darkness is a comforting blanket, covering everything I hide inside. The heavy gloom, I make the gym a concrete tomb and resurrect myself as steel. I don't care if it isn't real. It feels real when the muscles tear, gasping for the thin black air. Into the abyss I go. Down abyss, down abyss, down low. There is no bottom to this pit. I just keep falling into it. Deeper reps and deeper pain inside the heavy hurricane. I am the eye, I am the calm, holding the explosive bomb, waiting for the fuse to burn, waiting for the tide to turn. But here the sun will never shine. Everything is by design, to strip the weakness from the soul and pay the heavy, heavy toll. Pitch black, fade to gray. This is where I wanna stay. Pitch black, fade to gray. Push the light far away. I merge with shadows on the wall. I answer the crashing call of pressure building in the chest. Put the demon to the test. The abyss is not a scary place. It puts a smile on my face to know that I can breathe in hell and tolerate the sulfur smell. I built a home inside the dark. I left a permanent mark upon the bottom of the sea. The abyss belongs to me. Into the abyss I fall, into the abyss I crawl, blacker than the blackest night. This is how I win the fight. Into the abyss, deep down, into the abyss I drown, breathing in the heavy air. There is nothing here to hold. back up the heavy rope. I do not use the thing called hope. I use the strength I found below, in places where the others go, to die and never return back. I survived the heavy attack. I leave the abyss for a while, walking the heavy, heavy mile. Into the abyss I stand, into the abyss come on, blacker than the blackest night. This is how I win the fight. Into the abyss I drown, into the abyss I drown, breathing in the heavy air. There is nothing here to care. Pitch black, fade to gray. Pitch black, fade to gray.
I look inside the mirror glass, I wait for all the fear to pass, and then I see the enemy staring directly back at me. I declare war upon the skin, I let the battles now begin. I do not sign a peace treaty, I do not look for sympathy. I am the general and the truth. I'm stuck inside the violence loop. I give the order to attack, I put the burden on the back. No mercy, no mercy for the self I strike. No mercy for the self, dislike, distrust. The comfort kill the evil, bring the body to his knees. No mercy for the self I fight. No mercy for the self tonight. No mercy for the self tonight. Torture, torture, it's the heavy too. I am the master and the fool, and the fool, and the fool. Compassion is a foreign word, it is a language I've not heard. I treat the muscle like a slave, I drive it to an early grave, and then I force it to arise. I see the panic in the eyes, but I just add another plate and seal the dark and heavy fate. I don't negotiate with pain, I treat it with a golden stain. I crush the weakness in the hand, I execute the strict command. No mercy for the self I strike, no mercy for the self. Dislike, destroy the comfort, kill the evil, bring the body to his knees. No mercy for the self I fight, no mercy for the self tonight, tonight. Torture, torture, it's the heavy truth. I am the master and the fool, 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 and the attack the weak, destroy, solve, hold the iron up below. Attack the weak, destroy the soft, burn the bridges in the law. I am a tyrant to the soul, I have absolute control. I do not let the prisoner eat, I do not let him take a seat. I march him till the feet are raw, I obey only martial law. The body wants to quit and cry, I tell the body do or die. There is no safety in this room, only the shadows and the gloom. A relentless and heavy stress, I settle for nothing less. No mercy for the self I grind, no mercy for the self I find. Some people treat themselves with care, they breathe the soft and gentle air. I treat myself with jagged stone, I strip the meat from off the bone. I wanna see what I can take before the spirit starts to break. And then I push it past the line, because the wreckage is all mine. I built the dungeon in the rack, I laid the stones upon the track to run myself into the ground until the silence is the sound. Harder now, faster now, wipe the blood from the block. Harder now, faster now,
completely gone. But I am winning in the dark, leaving a devastating mark upon the weakness of the mind. Leave humanity behind. I purge the softness with the fire. I climb the mountain of desire to be the hardest thing alive, to struggle and to barely survive. My own attack upon the frame. I love the violence of the game. No mercy for the self, I strike. No mercy for the self. Dislike, destroy the comfort, kill the heat. Bring the body to its knee. No mercy for the self, I fight. No mercy for the self. Tonight, to my torture will stay too. I am the master and the fool, 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 and the fool. No mercy for the self, I strike. No mercy for the self. Dislike, destroy the comfort, kill the heat. Yeah. Bring the body to its knee. No mercy for the self, I fight. No mercy for the self. To my tone, death, torture is the hell of a heat too. I am the master and the fool, 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 and the fool. The war is over for the day. I wash the heavy sweat away. The damage is severe and deep. I earn the dark and heavy sleep. But in the morning war returns. The fire restarts and it burns. I will show no mercy. Then I'll do it all over again. I am my own worst enemy. That is how I force the key to open up the heavy door. And that's the monster. Give me more mercy for the self. I stand. No mercy for the self. Command till the bar meets solid ground. I won't set the burden down. No mercy for the self. I stay. No mercy for the self. Always. Culture is the heavy tool. I am the master and the fool. 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 I check the frame, I check the bone. I stand upon the heavy stone. I am the architect of pain. I do not care about the rain. I'm here to tear the building down and level out the inner town. I see the cracks inside the wall. I wanna make the ceiling fall. I load the bar to maximum until the body part is numb. I feel the fibers start to snap. I walked into the heavy trap. Structural damage, I create structural damage. Heavy weight, break the fiber, tear the skin. This is how the games begin. Structural damage, break it all. Structural damage, make it fall. Ruin is the only way to build a monster for the day. Here to polish glass. I'm here to kick the heavy ass of limitations in the mind. I leave the safety far behind. I wanna feel the system shake. I wanna see the muscles quake. Destruction is a holy art. I take the puzzle all apart and throw the pieces on the floor and ask the rubble, give me more. I am a walking demolition. This is my only ambition. Structural damage, I create. Structural damage, heavy weight, break the fiber, tear the skin. This is how the games begin. Structural damage, break it all. Structural damage, make it fall. Ruin is the only way to build a monster for the day. Cracking loud, snapping sound, bring the house to the ground. Cracking loud, snapping sound, rubble pile all around. The foundation is getting weak. I listen to the metal creak. I push until the columns bend. I do not want the pain to end. I wanna wreck the
comfort zone and strip the meat from off the bone to see what kind of steel is there beneath the skin and in the air. I am destroying who I was without a reason or a cause, except to build a tower high into the black and heavy sky. Girl damage, it is done. Girl damage, I have won. Repair is expensive and slow. I have a heavy way to go. I broke the body in the night to make it ready for the fight. I wake up sore and cannot move. I'm stuck inside the heavy groove of tearing down and building up. I drink the concrete from the cup. I feel the soreness deep inside. There is nowhere left to hide. The damage is the proof of work inside the shadow and the murk. Collapse now, fall apart. Heavy end, heavy start. Collapse now, fall apart. Iron beat, iron heart. The blueprint is a chaotic mess. I settle for nothing less than total failure of the form. I walk directly in the storm. I let the lightning strike the rod. I am becoming my own god of destruction and of dust. In the wreckage I will trust. I sweep the debris to the side and open up the vision wide to see the new and heavy frame rising from the smoke and flame. True damn rich, Ascendano page. True damn rich, hardly if I'd make. Break the fiber, tear the skin. This is how the games begin. Structural damage, break it all. Structural damage, make it fall. Ruin is the only way to build a monster for the day. The dust is settling on the ground. I do not hear a single sound. The building is completely gone. I'm standing in the early dawn upon the pile of the debris. The strongest version of me. I survived the wrecking ball. I survived the heavy fall. Now I rest and now I grow until the next time that I go to tear it all back down again inside the heavy iron pen. Structural damage, I stand down. Structural down, I stand down. Structural damage, I stay. Structural damage, I evolve. Structural damage, I stay in. Structural damage, always. Structural damage, I stay. Structural damage, always. Weight is crushing out the breath. I am sitting next to death. I hold attention in the hips, a silent prayer upon the lips. At the bottom I reserve. At the bottom where the high. The heavy pause, the heavy stop. It's a long way to the top. At the bottom darkness grows. At the bottom no one knows.
This is where I have to sit. Gravity's double here. I smell the sulfur and the fear. The bar's trying to pin me down, to bury me beneath the town. But I refuse to let it win. I keep the panic deep within. I turn the body to a spring. I listen to the silence ring. The reversal must be strong. I've been down here too long. I gather up the violent force to change the heavy river's course. At the bottom I reside. At the bottom, nowhere to hide. The heavy pause, the heavy stop. It's a long way to the top. At the bottom, darkness grows. At the bottom, no one knows. The struggle in the deepest pit. This is where I have to sit. This is where I have to sit. Hold the line, hold the weight. Do not move, accept the fate. Hold the line, hold the weight. Open up the heavy gate. Most people never go this deep. They stay awake to stay asleep. On the surface where it's safe. They never feel the heavy chafe of being trapped beneath the load at the ending of the road. But I prefer the danger zone. I built a castle made of bone. Down here where the pressure kills, I exercise the heavy will to rise again from out the mud with nitrogen inside the blood. The bottom line is very clear. The bottom line is always here. The ascent is a brutal climb. I move through the heavy time, inch by inch and frame by frame. I am rising from the flame. The gravity refuses to let go. It wants to keep me down below, but I'm stronger than the bull. I pay the ransom in the full. I break the surface of the lake. I break the surface of the lake. I leave the bubbles in the wake. I stand up straight and lock the knees. I brought the monster to the free. Sink down, rise up. Drink the poison from the guts. Drink the poison from the gut. Sink the poison. Never stop. Never stop. The repetition is the key to deep and dark intensity. I go back down into the cave. I act the master and the slave. I visit darkness once again inside the heavy iron pen. The bottom is my second home. I sit underneath the dome. 1,000 pounds of cruel steel. It doesn't matter how I feel. I have to push it back away to live to fight another day. At the bottom I reside. At the bottom nowhere to hide. The heavy pause, the heavy stop. It's a long way to the top. At the bottom darkness grows. At the bottom no one knows. The struggle in the deepest pit. This is where I have to sit. This is where I have to sit. I racked the bar and walked away, but I remember where I lay beneath the mountain and the mass, watching all the moments pass. The bottom changed the way I see the nature of reality. It showed me what I can endure, the sickness and the heavy cure. I carry darkness in the chest. I put the spirit to the test. And when I close my eyes at night, I'm back inside the heavy fight. At the bottom I stand. At the bottom command. To the bar meet solid ground. I won't set the burden down. At the bottom I stay. At the bottom my way. At the bottom I stay. At the bottom my way.
There is no finish line to cross. There is no profit, there's no loss. There is only doing it again inside the solitary pen. I push the rock up the hill. I use the force, I use the will. But when I reach the very top, I do not pause. I do not stop, I watch it roll back down the slope. I do not cry, I do not hope. I walk back down into the pit and grab the stone and handle it. The cycle never ends, I push. The cycle never ends, I crush. Right on the heavy wheel, this is how the moments feel. The cycle never ends, repeat. The cycle never ends, defeat. Start at 0, build to 10, and then I start it all again. Tomorrow looks like yesterday. The sky is dark, the sky is gray. The iron doesn't change its shape. There is no method of escape. I am a prisoner of the loop, I am the soldier in the troop. Marching in the circle track, carrying the heavy pack. I find the comfort in the grind that quiets down the busy mind to know exactly what is next. Read the heavy, simple text. The cycle never ends, I push. The cycle never ends, I crush. Run around the heavy wheel, this is how the moments feel. The cycle never ends, repeat. The cycle never ends, defeat. Start at 0, build to 10, and then I start it all again. Start again, begin to set. Do not worry, do not fret. Start again, begin to set. Pay the eternal heavy debt. People wanna reach a goal. They wanna fill the empty hole. But I know that the hole is deep, it's in the promises I keep to never look for an exit. To find the chair I merely sit when wait for strength to leave the bone so I can build another throne. The destination is a lie, it's just a place where dreams go die. The journey is the only thing inside the endless boxing ring. The cycle spins, it goes around. The cycle spins into the ground. 1,000 reps, 1,000,000 miles. I walk through the heavy aisles. I've been here 1,000 times committing all the heavy crimes of murdering the weaker self and putting trophies on the shelf only to smash them on the floor, and that's the demon. Give me more. Satisfaction is the death of every single heavy breath. I stay hungry, I stay low, I watch the river overflow. One more time, one more round. Listen to the heavy sound. One more time, one more round. Chain the body to the ground. Eternity is in the rep, eternity is in the step. Time is just a flat circle. I face the impossible hurdle. I jump it and I land the same. I keep on playing in the game that has no winner and no score. Just a slamming of the door. I'm the machine that turns, I'm the fire that burns. Forever in the darkest night, without a single spark of light. The cycle never ends, I push. The cycle never ends, I crush. Run around the heavy wheel, this is how the moments feel. The cycle never ends, repeat. The cycle never ends, defeat. Start at 0, build to 10, and then I start it all again. The session ends, but not the war, I'm walking out the heavy door. But I know I will be back soon, beneath the same and heavy moon. To do exactly what I did, to lift the earthy coffin lid and resurrect the pain inside. There is nowhere left to hide. The cycle is my only friend. It stays with me until the end. I accept the spinning fate. I accept the heavy weight. The cycle never ends, I stay. The cycle never ends, come on. Till the bar meets solid ground, I won't set the burden down. The cycle never ends, I stay. The cycle never ends, always. Start again.
force, I stay upon the collision course. The gym is just a huge machine to strip the body, strip it clean. I feed the body to the gears, I ignore the doubts and fears. I wipe the sweat from off the brow. I wait for the teeth to bite and turn the day into the night. Slow, into the meat grinder go. Turn the handle, feel the crush. Turn the hand, turn to mush. Break it down to build it back. Put the body on the rack. Process every single pound. Drive it deep into the ground. The blades are sharp and spinning round. They make a low and heavy sound. They wanna separate the weak from the havoc that I seek. I am the raw material, the pain is aerial. I give the flesh to get the steel. It doesn't matter how I feel, the machine demands a fee. It takes a heavy toll on me, I let it chew and let it spit. I am committed to the pit. Slow, into the meat grinder go. Turn the handle, feel the crush. Turn the handle, turn to mush. Break it down and build it back. Put the body on the rack. Process every single pound. Drive it deep into the ground. Chunky spray, red and gray. Fade away, fade away. Chunky spray, red and gray. This is how I earn the day. There is no mercy in the wheel. It crushes everything that's real. It pulverizes every hope. I do not try to climb the rope, I sink into the heavy blade. I accept the mess I made of tearing up the comfort zone and severing the heavy bone to reconstruct a better form inside the metal and the storm. I pass through the narrow gate, I accept the heavy fate. The meat grinder turns around. The meat grinder heavy sound. Output is the solid brick, making all the muscles thick. Input is the pain and sweat, paying off the heavy debt. I watch the pieces fall apart, I restart the heavy heart. The pressure create density, it solves the immense mystery of how to turn a man to stone. I do it entirely and inside the belly of the beast, preparing for the heavy feast. Feed the teeth, feed the teeth, feed the maw. Raw and red, red and raw. Feed the teeth, feed the maw. Obey the strict, heavy law. The gears are slowing down a bit. I climb out of the heavy pit, reshaped by the violent stare, gasping for the open air. I look different than before. I walk out the heavy door, compacted and solidified, with nothing left to hurt inside. The grinder did its heavy job. I am not part of the mob, I am a product of the stress. I settle for nothing less. Into the meat grinder slow. Slow. To the meat grinder go. Turn the handle, feel the crush. Turn the handle, turn to mush. Turn to mush. Break it down and build it back. Put the body on the rack. Process every single pound. Drive it deep into the ground. I leave the factory behind, but keep the image in the mind of rotating steel and blood, dragging through the heavy mud. I know that I will return soon to dance beneath the heavy moon and feed myself into the slide, to give it everything I got. The grinder is the only friend, it stays with me until the end, refining me with every turn, watching all the weakness burn. unfurled. I am the monolith, I stand. I am the monolith, command. Time cannot touch the heavy face. I occupy the solid space. I am the monolith, man. Remain in the monolith, the pain. Being erosion cannot weigh me down. I wear the heavy granite crown. The weight is resting on the head. I am alive but feeling dead. Depression makes the structure tight. I stand aside the blackest night. They throw the spears and shoot the gun, but I am darker than the sun. The shadow on a solid skin. I do not let the weakness in. Solidify the inner core. I am not human anymore. I am a monument to will, standing perfectly and still. I am the monolith, I stand. I am the monolith, command. Time cannot touch the heavy face. I occupy the solid space. I am the monolith, remain. I am the monolith, live. The pain erosion cannot weigh me down. I wear the heavy granite crown. Centuries pass, I stay here. Conquer doubt, conquer fear. Centuries pass, I stay here. The end is far, the end is near. The gravity is pulling hard. I play the heavy trump card of density and mass and size. I sever all the human ties. I am an object, not a man. I am the master of the plan. To be immovable and cold, to do exactly what I'm told. By physics and by heavy law, I stare into the open maw. A time that eats the lesser things. I listen to the silence ring. The monolith is rising high. The monolith will never die. The gym is just a quarry pit, where I refine the stone a bit. I chip away the softer rock. I look at the eternal clock. It doesn't move, neither do I. I let the moments pass me by. I focus on the static code. I turn the body into gold, but not the kind that glitters bright. The kind that swallows up the light and keeps stuff inside the chest. I put the spirit to the test. Solid rock, solid state. Accept the load, accept the fate. Solid rock, solid state. Got the heavy iron gate. A statue breathing heavy air with the blanket stony stare. I lift the earth and put it back. I widen up the heavy crack between the flesh and concrete. I never suffer a defeat because I simply do not care. I am the only object there. I weather every single storm. I maintain the perfect form of silence and the dignity for all eternity to see. I am the monolith, I stand. I am the monolith, command. Time cannot touch the heavy face. I occupy the solid space. I am the monolith, remain. I am the monolith, the pain. Erosion cannot weigh me down. I wear the heavy granite crown. The world is crumbling into dust, surrendering to rot and rust. But I'm standing in the waste. I do not move with any haste. I am the last thing that is left after the great and heavy death of everything that used to be. There is only the stone in me. I close the eyes and feel the weight. It is the only truly great. The matter man can never know. I watch the heavy muscles grow. The monolith I stand. The monolith command. To the bottom of solid ground. I won't set the burden down. The monolith I stay. The monolith always.